in the NBA, they have to bring a mega star here with Brooklyn Nets. They have to. One or two.
And I heard you say that you thought that Drazen was going to re-sign the Nets.
Gets it off in time. And he's got it, baby! Big time Nets win!
The only Net fans you know? The only Nets fans you know? Man. I mean, come on, man. Or are these guys?
Welcome back to the Net Fans podcast. I'm Peter, episode 111. I have a very special guest today. He was the second overall pick of the 1991 draft by the New Jersey Nets. Queens legend, Nets all-star point guard, Kenny Anderson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank Pete for having me, man. You know, it's great being on here. Talking basketball, talking Nets basketball, and started my NBA career with the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for doing this, taking the time out. I'm going to jump straight into it. You don't got a lot of time. Our Brooklyn Nets are 1-9. Obviously, this is a rebuilding year. I'm not knocking the front office. I'm not knocking any of the coaches. Jordi Fernandez is a great coach, but I look at the roster and I look at the system that he's running, right? He's running the point series offense. Clax is doing a great job so far in it, but I don't know if he's dynamic enough. The defense is one of the worst in the NBA. They've given up 125 points in 7 of 9 games. Is there anything wrong that I'm seeing here? There's a lot of young guys on the roster, right? So I'm not expecting them to go crazy.
No, I believe it's in the rebuilding stages with the Brooklyn Nets. And it's going to be, I'm going to say 2 to 3 years, you know, with all these young prospects that they're trying to develop, you know, and they don't have that mega star. There's no mega star. So, you know, you're going to have your bumps and bruises, and that's what they're going through right now. I watched the game against the Knicks the other night, and it's just, you don't have it. You gotta have one or two stars, you know, to stop the bleeding. And they don't have they just don't have no star players offensively that can really get it done offensively. But to win in the NBA, you got to be defensively. And 5 guys got to be it's got to be a string, and they just don't have it right now. But I think the coaching staff and then the coach Hernandez is doing I think a good job. But you really won't know that because they're not winning. So it's just a matter of getting those guys prepared for the future.
I said a couple stats before. They're really low in rebounding also. You know, like I could throw out a bunch of categories. It's just not great right now.
Yeah.
Is there anything that they could be doing maybe on defense that we're missing? Obviously, if it was an easy fix, they would just do it, right?
Yeah. Defensively, it's a desire. You got to want to do it, and then you got to have a plan. You know, you got to help each other out. In the NBA, you got to help each other out. You know, I played many years with. One year, we went to the Eastern Conference Finals against the New Jersey Nets, against Jason Kidd and them, and I was with Boston. Offensively, it was Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker, and I shot the ball 10 times, and then they shot all the other balls. So defensive-minded teams, and we was the third best team in the league, you know, defensively. But our offense was, you knew where it was going. It was real stale. But defensively, we was always on one page, helping each other out. And you gotta have a love like for each other. And it takes some time, some older, mature veterans that I see the Nets don't have. They don't have no veterans. So it's gonna take some time.
Oh man, absolutely. And you have Cam Thomas getting hurt. They're like main bucket getter, right? That's a major killer.
He's a bucket getter, but everybody in the league is bucket getters. You know, he's a great talent, but we want to win games, and you gotta do that on the defensive end and rebound. And if you don't have that, it's just not gonna work.
Obviously, you were a great passer. We were hoping to see Cam Thomas expand his game. Yeah. And I think last year you saw a little step Obviously, he's hurt now, so we can't see anything else. He's going to be a free agent after this year. We're in a really tough situation. And you need like spacing. Nets really don't have spacing. How tough is it when you don't have that bucket getter?
It's very tough, but you don't have spaces because you got to have shooters. You got to have shooters. So no one respecting their players to shoot and things of that nature. So it's going to be real tough this year for them. But I think you just got to play through it. Play through it, and just get better. As the year progresses, they'll get better if they're serious, if they want to do it. If they want to get better, they will. And then next year and so on, you just in the NBA, they have to bring a mega star here with Brooklyn Nets. They have to, one or two. You have to, in the NBA.
They have 5 rookies on the team. 4 of them are 19 years old. How beneficial is it? Like, yes, they're kind of thrown into fire, but you also want them to get that experience, though, right? Because they're going to have to get that playing time in at some point.
It's very good. It's very good to be thrown into the fire. But once again, I like to say, I don't see, that many voiceful veterans say, hey, this is how you do it. They don't have it. They just don't have it. So you get thrown into the fire as a rookie. You got 5 rookies. You got some veterans, but those veterans haven't played in certain situations, certain organizations. They trying to get their name up, they game up. So it's just not a good mix of players the Brooklyn Nets have got right now. But in time, it will get better. It will get better, but you got to be patient. You got to work extremely hard if you really want to play in the NBA. You got to work extremely hard. And the coaching staff, they have a great coaching staff over there. I know Jerron Howard is assistant coach over there. He's a great player. He's been through it all. He knows it. So in time, they'll get it. But the main objective is to get 2 or 3 veterans, here with the Brooklyn Nets. You got to get those, and I'm talking about unique. They had it, but it all blown up. Kyrie Irving and James Harden and Kevin Durant was all here, but they blew it up. Now they're starting all over again. I understand it. This is how the NBA works. You just can't. Now, if you throw it in there, you throw a lot of rookies in there, you gotta take your lumps. You gotta take your lumps. And I think that's what Brooklyn Nets are doing. In time, I hope the fans will understand that and keep coming to the games and supporting the Brooklyn Nets.
I'm gonna switch gears right now. I want to get to your playing career now. Yeah. I came in during the J-Kid era.
Yeah.
And I never got to see Drazen Petrovic play. Any Nets fans that are older than me, I always ask how great he was. And I think about you. You get drafted 2nd overall. Willis Reed is the GM.
Yeah.
You show up to training camp or you show up to practice, whatever. And what's your first reaction of meeting Drazen Petrovic for the first time? Because he was not settled in yet. He just got traded the year before to New Jersey.
Yeah. Everybody was trying to compete and do their best. You know what I mean? So I understood that. I come highly praised rookie, with a veteran team. So it was tough for me not playing right away. So, but I saw how those guys worked, practice, and things of that nature. The veterans, and we had a very good team. We was competing with the Knicks, and the East was very tough back then. The Knicks was tough. Cleveland was tough. Chicago, Orlando. Then we was pretty tough. So, it was NBA East was awesome back then. You know what I mean? So just one of those things. But my team, all in all, was great, man. It was great guys. Great guys.
Yeah. Chuck Daly comes in. He's coming off the Dream Team.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you hear that Chuck Daly's coming right off that to coach the Nets?
No, it was awesome. I knew, and he told me you gotta get the ball now because they traded Mookie to Atlanta. So it was like, yo, it's your ball. Let's make it happen. He's a great coach. For me, Derrick Coleman, Drazen Petrovic, and we took off from there. We took off. I made the All-Star team in '94. We was a very good team, but we just was missing some things. We were just in a tough era. Michael Jordan era over in Chicago. They was winning everything. Cleveland was pretty tough. The Knicks, Orlando. So, but we was right there. If Drazen Petrovic wouldn't have passed away, we would have built it. We would have built it great over there with the New Jersey Nets. It would have been awesome. I really believe that.
What made Chuck Daly such a herald coach?
Well, first of all, he won championships with the Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumas, Rick Mahorn was Bill Laimbeer. He coached the greats, and he just knew how to coach older, mature players. So it wasn't. He was like a manager. He was a manager. Managing. That's the great coaches. Phil Jackson. Lenny Wilkins, rest in peace. They just know how to manage the guy, playing time, and they always said the right things to get us motivated to do the job.
And a lot of people maybe forget this, but that coaching staff was also loaded. You had Rick Carlisle, Paul Silas.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories or any memories of them as an assistant coach, coaching?
Paul Silas, rest in peace. He passed away. He was a great coach. He brought me down to New Orleans when he had the coaching job with the Hornets. So I played for him. Rick Carlisle is my guy. Everywhere he was, I've been there. I was on the team when he coached the Pacers, when we went to the finals. Portland, he was with me in Portland. He was with me with the New Jersey Nets. So those are good coaches. So it was just great knowing them guys and playing for them coaches. They were good guys. So
92, 93, you guys are 31-24. You're the 4th seed. The score is 60-46. Nets over the Knicks. Third quarter, 9 minutes left. You get a steal on Patrick Ewing. It's a 3-on-1. John Starks, there's a flagrant foul on you. You get hurt. How tough was that? Because you guys had that team.
Yeah, that's the year we was going to do some great things. It was very tough. He pushed me. I broke my wrist, and I was out. For the year. Looking back on it now, it's tough, but I'm over that. I can't cry over spilled milk. Things happen, and so be it. You know what I mean? But we had a great team. We was looking forward to the future, but things didn't happen that way.
So I was watching some of your other interviews and whatnot, and I heard you say that you thought that Drazen was going to possibly re-sign with the Nets. And then I read other people saying that, he maybe not. Well, where do you think this team could have gone?
Oh, we would have went. I don't know, because Jordan was still with the Bulls. We could have been competing in the finals, something like that, because we had a great team competing with Cleveland, the Knicks. You never know. You woulda, shoulda, coulda. You can't. It is what it is. Things happen. Everything for our lives, your life, my life, everything happened for a reason. We just didn't do it. And believe me, believe me, and I'm a net. He would have signed back with the Nets. He was re-signing with the Nets. I don't care. He was re-signing with the Nets because he had more leeway with the Nets. All the other teams was already prepared, with two guards and things of that nature. He was our two guard. He could shoot all day. And so guys wanted the money, they was going to work the money out where they take care of Drazen Petrovic, no doubt.
How did his game help your game?
Well, my game was already set. But I seen his work ethic and practice and things of that nature. And I've always had a work ethic, but I looked at his pro workout, and I was like, wow, he's a good guy to get close to. I was getting close to him, on the team, just talking to him, and I saw how, he used to work before, like an hour before practice, come in, he'd be drenched, come in early, stay late. Those guys, he just wanted to belong over here, and he did it. He was a great shooter, great playmaker at times, but he was a great player.
I wish I could have seen him play. I was looking at that roster from that year, and there's a couple of vets that they didn't play too many games, but you had Maurice Cheeks, Bernard King was on that roster. Yeah. And Rick Mahorn, of course, was on the team for a couple of years. Any stories from any of those vets?
No. I don't remember too much of vet stories, but to have those guys in the locker room and talking to those guys, it was great. For me, I being young, coming up in the NBA, they gave some great, great advice. Work extremely hard, at your craft. The nightlife, cut it down till after the season, whatever. But they gave me some great advice, and that always stuck with me.
So we're going to move to your All-Star year. You get voted in as a starter. Derrick Colemen starts with you. But what was that experience like?
Oh, great experience. Lenny Wilkins, he just passed away yesterday. He was our coach. He coached the East. He coached Cleveland. He didn't play us that many minutes. So I remember me and Derrick was pissed off. So we said, we started, but that was it. We was going to get them. And when we finished the All-Star, we played. Cleveland was one of our first games back. We wanted to kill them.
That's hilarious.
I remember that. Yeah, because Lenny Wilkins didn't play us much in the All-Star game. But it was great being in the All-Star, making it. But it was great because it wasn't the coaches. The fans voted me on. So I was star. It was awesome. The fans, who watched the game and all that, they voted me on. So that was a blessing.
So we're going to forward on the season. You guys wound up playing the Knicks in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In the regular season, I think you guys were like 3-1, 4-1.
No, I think we was 4-0. We beat them down. We beat them all 4 games, but they was ready. Pat Riley had them ready for the playoffs because of that reason. We were so successful against them in the regular season, and I don't think we was fully ready for them in the playoffs, and they beat us when it counted. It was just one of those things where we just wasn't there yet. The championship, moment, we just wasn't there yet. Maybe this, that, the other. You could say, oh, we should have did that. We should, but they just got into us and they beat us in the playoffs when it counted. We would have worked extremely harder in the playoffs. It would have been different, but we just didn't formally, work. I think we didn't work extremely hard during the playoffs when it counted the most. Because we had the talent. Our talent was better than theirs. Period. We could have took, but we just did. They wanted it more. They wanted it more.
I'm gonna keep on speeding along over here. Your last season in New Jersey, we have Derrick Colemen getting traded on November 30th. I think he put in like a trade request before. What's your reaction to hearing Derrick Colemen getting traded? I always ask players when they hear about a certain trade, like, where were you when you heard the news? And did you know it was happening beforehand?
No, I'm not sure. But when they traded him, I knew I was next. They was trading everybody, back then. They was trying to clean house, which was understandable. I was up for renegotiation. So, when they traded DC, I didn't think it was going to mesh up to anything. So I wanted out. So I was with David Falk, my agent. So he got me to Charlotte. Charlotte was a great team for me to be in.
One thing that I found really interesting, funny enough,
mm-hmm.
right before your trade, your last game as a New Jersey Net is actually against the Charlotte Hornets, and you put up a great game, 20 points. I think you had like 10 rebounds or a couple like 5 assists or something like that. You had a great game, and then a week later, you're back as a member of the Hornets in New Jersey. What's that like after getting traded?
Yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking, but you know, it's the nature of the business being in the NBA. So that was one thing I went through, and I learned, I lived it. Then I was like, okay, you know, I was with a good I thought I was with a good organization, but I was on a half. You know, I had 3 months left, and then my contract would be over. So I thought Charlotte was going to re-sign me. I loved that in Charlotte, but they gave them all the money to Larry Johnson, and they didn't have no money left. And then the owner stole the team and things of that nature. So Charlotte, I had a great time in Charlotte, you know, but the team was sold, and then boom, I was a free agent.
Whenever I have a guest on, I always throw a little rapid fire questions to start winding things down. You don't have to go too long. You just give me a 1-word answer, 2-word answer, whatever you feel. You've coached before. You've been a point guard. What's tougher, having to draw up that game-winning play, or actually running it?
Drawing up the play is tough. I've been there. I coached at Fisk University in Nashville for 5 years, and you just be doubting yourself with different players, putting certain plays in the plays. Who's going to make who you have confidence in? So drawing the plays up was difficult for me.
Is it like maybe I'm just poking your mind over here? Is it like a trust thing? Because obviously when you have your handle, you know your talent, and then you're putting your trust into your team over there, right? It's a lot different.
Yeah, it's a lot different. And sometimes, you know, I have the utmost confidence for myself, but sometimes the players, you just really don't know, man. You know, you don't know, so you got like, it's like a guess game, you know. A guess game.
Who is your favorite current NBA player or coach?
I would have to say, because my favorite coach is Rick Carlisle. He's been with me for a long time, even when I was playing in the league. He was with me in New Jersey, with me in Portland, with me in Indiana. I would say Rick Carlisle. He's struggling right now with, you know, I think they won one game. You know, they won in 9 also with the Indiana Pacers. But Halliburton is injured for the whole year. He won't play because he got Achilles. He's out. So it's just going to be a rough year, I believe, on him. But he's my favorite coach.
What is your favorite jersey? It could be a Nets jersey. It could be another NBA team. I have one in mind. I hope you get it right.
I don't know, but my favorite one, and it's mine. I'm trying to get some more. You know, I got my son has my New Jersey Nets, the blue one. I love the blue one.
That's a good answer.
I love the blue New Jersey Nets. That's it right there. But I love my Celtics jersey also. It's great. But my first team that I played for, New Jersey Nets, that drafted me, give nothing but love to New Jersey Nets, and I love it.
The jersey I was going to say was I love the Dr. J jersey. I feel like that's the best jersey in basketball. Is there anything you want to plug, Kenny?
No, not really. You know, I'm right now. I'm looking to see. I want to get back into coaching, but on a prep or a college level, you know, I would love to go back to Georgia Tech, my alma mater, and coach on the college level. But I'm just trying to see right now. I'm just taking my time. You know, been out 5 years now, so I'm just trying to see, you know, what I'm gonna do. The game, I love the game of basketball. It's got me to this point in my life. But I really don't want to do it on the NBA level. I love watching the games and things of that nature, but I want to do it on the prep school level or college.
Thanks so much for doing this. If you guys are watching this, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can follow me at NetFans, on YouTube and Twitter. Have a good day. Have a good night. And let's go Nets. We're out.
Let's go Nets. Let's go Brooklyn Nets. Let's get it.